Say hi. Okay, Otis, you can go now. Bye-bye. It's hot. Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. I hope you are doing wonderful today. Once again, I'm hot in here. Okay. So what are we talking about today? Well, apparently Mr. Markle is going to sue his daughter, and I say good for you, Mr. Markle. Good for you. And this right here just shows you the kind of father that Mr. Markle was. He was the kind of father that was like, look, you ain't going to get what you want all the time. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes you just going to have to be accountable for your behavior. And one of the things that he has done as said that I am against you writing this book against the royals. Well, we know it's going to be against them, because why else would you write a book unless you want it to be salacious? You have to be. They're not going to give you give you all this money to write a book, or give you a down payment, give you like or an advance to write a book if you're not going to put something in that book that is going to be worth people reading. And it has to be something that's going to be salacious. Now, apparently Meghan is going to write a wellness book, and I think she should not do that, because she can't do anything that's going to be helping anybody with wellness, because she's not well herself. She's not. She's got some issues. And until she gets things right with her own life, she shouldn't tell people that she's writing a wellness book. It just don't go together. It don't go. Okay, so I'm going to be reading this article about Mr. Markle taking his daughter to court, because I think it is newsworthy. And I think Mr. Markle has done something that could maybe backfire, only because when you decide to go to court, you are essentially putting your whole life on trial. And he is the one who is going to have to prove he is fit to even be a grandfather. He may even have to prove that his life with his daughter was way better than what it already was. And I'm sure it was. But remember, we've got someone conniving. And this is what is going to be the issue. She is going to dredge up things, misconstrue things to paint Mr. Markle in a bad light for the sake of fighting anything that he tries to do to get from her, because she is just that type of person to do that. I look at the videos that she did when she was younger, where she went around Hollywood with her friend and talking to her friend about, well, my father lives there, but we're not going to go there because I'm not on good terms with him right now. Well, that's because Mr. Markle wasn't always giving her what she wanted. He was making her accountable. You behave a certain way, you do certain things. I'm not condoning things. I'm not going to just give you everything. And I can imagine her being upset when she didn't get everything she wanted. And this is the other thing. So if she's mad with her father for taking pap pictures, right? Well, why isn't she not speaking to the royals? Because they've done things much worse than taking paparazzi pictures. According to them, the royals are racist. They've done all these mean things, hence the interview with Oprah. So if you really are looking at both families here, why have they decided to not speak to Mr. Markle, but yet they're speaking to the royals? Well, hello, duh. Celebrity, titles, money, publicity. They can get things from the royal family. Because if you're thinking, well, she should be justified in not speaking to her father, you can't justify it, because they're speaking to the family that has done much worse. I think Mr. Markle should definitely try to do something at this point. And I think even if he has to write a book himself to come out and tell his truth, which I'm almost certain would be the actual truth, because what does he have to gain from anything but to tell the truth? They are spinning things. They have a PR agency behind them that is spinning so much nonsense that right there tells you they're trying to paint a picture, a story that shows them in a light other than what they are actually portraying. So if they want to play this game with Mr. Markle, go all the way, Mr. Markle, and write a book. Get me to write you forward to your book. Get me to help you write the book. Whatever you want to do. Because you got a lot of friends, Mr. Markle, okay? Okay? You got a lot of friends. Because we can see this couple is perpetrating. We can see that they are doing Mr. Markle wrong. We know this. Okay? So basically, Mr. Markle is telling sources telling them that he is just going to take them to court because he wants to see his grandchildren. And who can blame the man? It must be so disheartening. It must be so hard and troublesome to at least see the one child. I mean, she ain't even showing a foot, an eyeball, nothing from this other child like she did with Archie, where she was playing peekaboo with us. He's like, peekaboo, here's a foot. Peekaboo, here's half his head. Can we get a peekaboo with Miss Lily so we can see she exists? She's not even on the website. They haven't even produced a birth certificate to Parliament that shows the signatures of the doctor that delivered the baby. They're refusing to even show that. If you saw my live with Paula, then you know. We talked about this. And there are certain things that this couple are doing that are actually criminal. Criminal. People need to hold them accountable to their behavior. Read my disclaimer to know these are my opinions, okay? My opinion. What I'm saying? Behaving badly. That your father has to go to the extremes to sue you to see the children. Because you won't even bring the child to see their own grandfather, the one that raised you. Hollywood should be so outraged, so against what this couple is doing, that they should never get a deal to work with anybody in Hollywood. We'll see. We'll see. So far, we know they've got a couple of deals. We know Elton John and his husband are working with them. But who else is going to step? We know Oprah. I don't know. Is Oprah still working with them? Is she still trying to claim fame too? Yeah, I'm for what they stand for. Because if you are for what they stand for, you lack morals. You lack doing the right thing. You lack common decency. Because at the end of the day, the least, the minimum this man deserves is to see his grandchildren. And Harry and his wife, they have enough money. They can arrange it without even having to see Mr. Markle. But they're not about doing the right thing because this is all to make money. This is all a branding ploy for them. Their children are to make money for them. Hence, we've never seen the second child. It probably, like most people say, doesn't even exist. Who knows? But I'm telling you, these are bad actors that do not want to even do right by her own father, who she raved about. Raved about. She has always said such wonderful things about her father. People who have actually known Mr. Markle have nothing but nice things to say about this man. He has got a great reputation in Hollywood. But when it comes between a father and a daughter, there are tensions because usually the daughter is behaving badly, wanting to get her way. And people put their foot down and say, hey, look, no, you're not getting what you want just because. And the answer is no. And they're not used to hearing no. Harry is allowing Meghan to be his mother because she is fulfilling something that he has lacked from the death of his own mother. Meghan is Harry's mama, in my opinion. Yes. Mr. Otis is here. Hi, Mr. Otis. You want to come up here and say hi? All right, so let's look at this article and what it says. So he will be petitioning to the California courts for to fight to see his grandchildren. He doesn't live that far from them. He lives only 70 miles away from where the Harry and his mama live, because we know that's his mama wife. Mama wife. So Archie and Lily, they are still small children. They are not politics. They are not pawns. They are not part of this game, he said. And they are also royal and entitled to the same rights as any other royal. Okay. So Mr. Markle is trying to really show his upper hand here. And I think he should, because it's kind of like they're taking Mr. Markle and saying, okay, you know, we spit you out. You ain't royal. We don't want to talk to you. Get away from us. We don't want to be with you. But Mr. Markle is like, looking, wait a minute, hold up. I took care of you. I'm your daddy. Who's your daddy? I'm your daddy. Right? She trying to get all Hollywood, like she want to be all uppity, like don't want to just talk to her father, like just kind of throw him out. But they're going to have the audacity to go try to do right in the world, to show she is like, oh, I'm here to do the greatest things and help the world and but not talk to my daddy. Yes. We want goodness in the world. We want peace. We want conservation. We want people to be righteous. We want people to do the right thing. We want people to uphold morals and standards. But I ain't talking to my daddy. My daddy, he talked to the paps. Now, I ain't talking to him. But let's all come together. Let's come together. And let's talk about how I've been wronged by the royal family. Oprah, let's talk. Now, we know she said that she wanted to be more forthright, coming with more independent, you know, those who don't have a name yet. But she went and gave her interview to Oprah, didn't she? Like, she always contradicting and doing things that she says she wants to do and she does otherwise. See, we got to look and read between the lines. And Harry, you know, he just following along, you know, because he don't have a voice. Like, someone just need to go take his voice box out. Just take it out. Because he ain't got a voice. He don't. Like, he says something and it's like, what do you know? You're letting your wife make all the decisions. You don't even wear the pants in your family. So why should anybody even listen to him? You see what I'm saying? So at this point, the contradictions and how they are behaving is so wrong that no one should listen to them. And what Mr. Markle is saying is exactly right. They are using their children. They are also using their children to make money. They haven't even shown that other second child because they want to create hype around her, suspense, intrigue. Oh, what will she look like? Ah, here she is. Now give me my money. You know, kind of a thing. People ain't got time for you. This couple, they just want to do things so. This is why I think this is so newsworthy to talk about, because it is unprecedented what is happening. And there are powerful people in the world that are behind the scenes that they are showing opposition to. It's not right. And getting so far along in your life that you think that you can just do whatever you want, you letting things get to your head. And yeah, things have really gotten to her head, especially because she's calling the shots for Harry letting her call the shots, and they just running off doing craziness all day long. And you know, if people are really looking at this couple the way they should, that are behind the scenes with him, they would start doing what Mr. Markle did and put their foot down and say no. Because what Mr. Markle did when this girl was growing up was trying to show her that you're not going to get everything you want. You need to learn how to be an upstanding, good person, even when you don't get what you want. And the other adults in the room that are going to play footsies with this couple needs to put their foot down and say, hey, call your daddy. Did you hear? He did an interview with 60 Minutes, Australia. He want to talk to you. Did you hear? That's the first thing people should say when they meet her. Like, oh, hi, hello. Did you call your daddy? Did you call your daddy? Are y'all speaking to your family now? Oh, okay. Well, until y'all take care of things in your own house, we ain't doing business with you. We just we washing our hands of you. Because y'all ain't nothing but trouble. Like, that's what people should be doing. My opinion. Okay. So that's what he's saying. I think, yeah, he's right. They're using their kids as pawns. And if people are against children being used in a way to bring harm to other people, you should be speaking out against this, because that's what they're doing. They're using the children to bring harm and mental anguish and heartache to Mr. Markle by not letting him see his grandkids. Now, I think this is going to cause other issues, but hey, Mr. Markle's got to do what he's got to do at this point. He has got to show them that, look, I'm still your daddy. And then if I were Mr. Markle, I'd just look, write a book, call me, let's write the book together, and let's show them how to be better parents, how to behave, how to do the right thing. Meghan recently opened up about her strained relationship with her father, saying that she could never reconcile with him for staging pictures with the press. So yeah, and you shouldn't reconcile with the Queen after what they have then done with you. Hence, you done gone on Oprah. And you know what is so crazy? When they went on Oprah and said, well, you know, my mother, she's remained dignified through all of this. She hasn't said anything. She's remained silent. Now, I know the Queen was like, well, shoot, I'm a grandmother. You ain't remaining silent with me. But you on Oprah, telling everybody about what happened behind our walls, but you gonna praise your mother about how she's behaving when you can't even behave like your mother. She's sitting here praising her mama on Oprah doing a tell-all interview, but she can't even do the same thing that she's praising her mother for doing, like contradicting while giving the interview. Oprah should have been like, during that interview, she should have been like, well, yeah, you know what, Meghan, your mother has remained silent in dignity. Hey, what about you? Why are you here today? Why are you here speaking with me right now? People want to know. Right? Oprah should have been, I'm sure Oprah was probably sitting there thinking, well, shoot, then why are you sitting here talking to me? You ain't remaining silent right now speaking about the royals. So, if anything, Doria should also be making her say, look, we're going to at least bring the family to my side of the family. What's going on with that? Why hasn't, you know what? Doria and Thomas should come together and they should connive together. Don't make no more babies, but they should connive together. I know they can't make babies, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just being silly. Because they can really come together, join forces, and bring this couple down. Because it's going to take something that extreme to get this couple to stop behaving the way they are behaving. It's going to take something like that. Because I can assure you, they are trying everything they can to be this conglomerate of greatness that can never be controlled, can never have its lies contained, can always do whatever they want to do. The more they get with people coming and seeing that yeah, y'all right, look at what y'all family did to y'all. Like, the more they can blind the eyes of other people to really see what they are actually doing, the more power they get, the more legitimate they become. And the goal is not to allow this couple who still hasn't learned the things that they need to learn to be better, is to not allow this to happen much longer. They have got to show that they are about doing the things that they preach. And we know that they're not. He says, I look at Archie and I think about the child, and I gently can't imagine doing anything to intentionally cause pain to my child. Meghan, pregnant with Lilibet at the time, told Oprah in the March. I can't imagine it, so it's hard for me to reconcile. Right. But you reconcile talking to the royal family. You don't make sense. Like, you don't make sense. You contradicting yourself. You didn't reconcile with the royal family though, right? You reconcile with them because they got something that you can try to take. They got something that you can try to gain more power from. It's like the more I get from the royals, the bigger, more power I get. This is why the titles need to be stripped. 100%. Strip them. Strip them. Like, just snatch them away. Snatch it up. Take those titles away. They don't deserve no titles. I mean, the way they behave, they say they don't even need titles. Hasn't she said that we don't need titles? Like, people don't need titles, but you gonna use your title? Harry is saying that he doesn't want to write a book about being the prince, but about the man he's become, Duke of Sussex. But you using your title after giving something that's saying that you want to write a book about becoming something better than what you were as a prince or what you are as a prince. Then get rid of your title. These two, nothing but a bunch of knuckleheads. They are so in a position of spoiled brattery, just spoiled, rotten, entitled. Ooh, this is what happens when people with money raise children, or someone who works hard raise a child and they go rogue. These kind of kids need to be smacked down much sooner so that they don't get any popularity. Like the prince who has power, he don't go marry a woman and do something that gives her power, and now they off running around doing craziness, disrupting the world and causing distress to parents and families and monarchs. Like, this has to be the biggest life lesson for the world, for people in the world. Life lesson. Because as you know, that's what I do. I teach life lessons to young kids, helping them to make the right choices in life. And this couple still has not learned valuable life lessons, hence why they are behaving like this. Harry has not learned the things that his mother was trying to learn or to teach him when he was a young boy. She was trying to show him, look, you are a prince. You need to show compassion towards people. You need to be humble. You need to show humility. You need to show that you are not above other people. But the problem is it didn't stick with Harry. It stuck with William because we see William is on the right path. He's doing the right thing. But Harry, no, he has truly missed out on the things his mother was trying to show him. Because it didn't just left his head. It's just left. All the things that his mother was trying to teach him is just gone. Just gone. Left. Right. And Meghan, her father was teaching her things, but you know, she would get mad at her dad and wouldn't speak to him when he was trying to teach her these things that are important, how to behave, show humility, don't act like that, don't be entitled, you know, try to humble yourself a little bit, stop getting that big head about things that are not really important. What would she do? She would just not talk to him. So there are things that are important that young people need to learn, because when they don't, they end up being like this couple. They do. You got one extreme from the other. You got one who's a prince, grew up with everything, had money, everything. And then you got one whose daddy worked hard, gave her everything. And they both came out similar. And now they're out there disrupting the world. And that's why the people that have power today, when y'all have children, don't go breeding children like this. Stop breeding the next generation of these Sussex people. Don't be breeding no Meghan and Markles anymore in this world, because they are disrupting the world. They ain't done nothing but bring consequences to things of other families that these other families have to now deal with. The queen is at the end of her life. You mean to tell me the queen has come this far in her life from the day she said she was going to devote her whole life to service? It's come down to this? It's come down to this moment where you got someone lying on you, someone who is causing you distress like this? And to what happened to Philip in the hospital? You know, the royal wedding could have been called off when Mr. Markle had his heart attack. But Meghan was so eager to get married, she had to hurry up and get married as fast as she could. They had to hurry up and do these things because she had a mission from the very beginning. She wasn't going to stay. She wanted to leave from the very beginning. She lied. She perpetrated her way into the royal family to get those titles, to get power, to get recognition. And now they running rogue with the heads chopped off, trying to just go do everything, write a book, documentary, children's plays, books, everything. You think of it, they want to do it. And they shouldn't have no right to do nothing. Because they are spoiled, entitled brats that need to be brought down to reality. And Mr. Markle, you go ahead, take them to court, sue them, and go see your grandchildren. Even though it's going to probably cause issues, problems with your own life, having to have your own life put on, you know, in front of the courts. But I think it has to be done. What else did he say? Meanwhile, Meghan is close with her mother, who is 64. You've never heard her say one word. She's remained silent in dignity for 4 years watching me go through this. Yeah. And, you know, like I said, Oprah should have been like, well, shoot, you ain't remaining silent in dignity, Miss Meghan. Why are you sitting here talking to me in front of the whole world? You just as bad as your daddy. The former Suits actress said in her interview with Winfrey that her son was a topic of conversation for the royals, as the family allegedly had voiced concerns over his skin color. She additionally discussed her mental health struggles and said she experienced suicidal thoughts. And she didn't even bother to call her mama, who has went to school to deal with people with mental issues, a social worker. But she ain't gonna tell you that, is she, in the Oprah interview? See how they conniving? So I think Mr. Markle, he should really go ahead and do what he's going to do, because I think this is the only way he can be heard.